me from scrimpingmommy.stampinup.net. I'm going to start using my web shop name because I've been using my blog name and I don't always blog, so I don't know how to use that. So it's stampinup.net with Scrimping Mummy and a dot at the beginning. So the new catalogue's gone live. I'm not going to be doing loads and loads of seasonal crafting. I don't like using the C word before my birthday, which is this month. But it's gone live, and one set that I got I absolutely love, couldn't wait to use, and that is Poinsettia Petals. It's part of a larger suite. There's all papers and dies and embellishments, and it all coordinates beautifully. I've just got the stamp set. That's all I've got. Okay, I've got it on pre-order and I didn't get the whole lot, and I was playing about yesterday and I came up with this beautiful box. It's very sturdy, made out of chipboard, and I decorated it using some of the elements from that suite. So I'm going to show you how it's made. It's very, very beautiful little decorative gift box. Alright, so you just pull the ribbon like so and it opens, and we've got this, and it's double watt, you know, it's double thickness so that it's not bendy. And this is chipboard. So let's get started. Okay, I'll just move that out of the way. So you need three pieces of chipboard. Two of them need to measure 4.5 by 4.5, and this one measures 4.5 by 1 1/4. I think it was 1 1/4. Let me double check. Yeah. All right. And then we're just going to glue these onto some cardstock. I'm using Cherry Cobbler, and this cardstock here I've recycled from packaging that comes with DSP. I don't know what DSP means. Lots of people do ask. It's the Stampin' Up term for their paper, and we call it Designer Series paper. So DSP is short for Designer Series paper, and in the paper you generally get some kind of backing card, and I always recycle it. Alright, so we're going to wrap this. I'm leaving about 3/4 of an inch, half an inch, 3/4 of an inch gap there. Okay, I'm doing it by eye. It's only a box, doesn't matter if it's not 100% perfect. It's not a mini album. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is just grab 2 pieces of scrap. Because what is important when you're doing this, when you're wrapping something with chipboard, is the gaps you put between each piece. Otherwise, if you don't have the right gaps, your paper won't fold properly, and then your cardstock will all split because it's under too much pressure. Alright. My glue's playing up today, so I'm going to stick that there. Alright. And then I'm just going to turn it on its side. I'm getting 2 thicknesses of the same chipboard that I've used there, and that's the space I need between that and that. So I can push that up a little bit. I want two thicknesses between. Okay, and that'll be fine there. And then the same when I put that down there, 2 thicknesses. Alright, so I just use a little bit of scrap. Or you can just eyeball it, whatever, but make sure you leave a gap in between. Otherwise, like I say, your card won't fold nicely, and then it'll all split. Okay, let's just have a look if that's kind of straight. Oh, it's not bad. Alright, give that a press. Now ideally, I'd like to leave that to dry. But you know I'm doing a video, so I can't. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut up there, but I want to leave, you know, enough to fold over. Roughly try and leave the same at that side that I've got at that side. Alright, I could have cut it to size beforehand, but you just never know how much you're going to need. So I'll do it to about there. Okay. Alright, I might edit some of this and fast forward it if I think it's taking too long. Alright, and then what I do is I go all the way around the outside with a bone folder to score, and that will help my paper fold up neatly. Okay, and then I'm going to go just down that so that it can start and think where it needs to go. Alright, and then we're going to just snip the corners. I'm just going to snip them off, but leave a small amount, because otherwise when you fold them over you'll have a gap, and you don't really want a gap. So just cut across, but leave about that much, just enough to nip in so that you're not left with a gap. Alright, okay. I mean, at the end of the day, if you've got a gap, you know, it doesn't matter, you can colour it in with a pen. And cherry cobbler, use a bit of cherry cobbler ink and hide it won't matter, it's only a little box. So don't stress over it too much. If you do have a little gap, there's always ways of covering it up. Just use daub a little bit of cherry cobbler ink on the corners so you can't see. Right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start and push my chipboard down and fold up my sides. Use my bone folder so it starts and creases over. Same that. Okay, give it a right good crease. And that. It's just like backing books when we were at school. We used to have to back our books with paper. If anybody remembers, it's just the same. It's not hard. It's not difficult. And then where the little corners are, just push them in with your bone folder or your thumb. Just push them in. Okay. Alright. And then I might fast forward this bit now because we're just gluing onto here. Need it, I can't remember. 5 1/4 by 10 1/4 it needs to be. I just need to chop that down to 10 1/4. 10 1/4 is there. Move that out the way. And then that will just very simply glue onto there. Getting it everywhere, making a right mess. Not to worry. Okay. As I said, if you take your time, you get good results, really good results, if you just take your time and think about it. Alright, the more time you take, the better. Don't rush it. And it will look absolutely smashing and spot on. If you line it all up nicely, the measurements that I'm giving you are correct, and you will get nice results. Okay, let me just get rid of that excess glue there. Get off, don't want you. Alright, so then give that a really good press, make sure all that glue's down, and then find your folds there where your spine is, and get in with your bone folder and give it a crease. Alright, if you get any glue oozing out, just wipe it away, it'll be fine, it'll dry. If you've got right kind of glue, it'll dry clear anyway. And then just gently, very gently start and lift that up. Gently, gently, gently. On the other side. Gently, gently, gently. Okay. And then that's the outer for your box. Alright. Choose which side you like the look of best. And then what we've got is we've got some of this beautiful flocked, it's like flocked vellum, it's like fluffy, furry. It's quite nice, it reminds me of 1970s wallpaper, but it's quite nice. And the best way to adhere this I've found is either use a tape runner, or I've got double-sided tape. I find that glue is a little bit, you know, you can see it a bit. And so I'm just sticking to the outer edge of it for now, and I'm going to layer the box. I'll probably fast forward this bit. Now, before I forget, is I want 2 holes in to tie my hair, because I'm going to close it with ribbon. So I'm just going to measure, and so this is 4.5, so I want it at 2 1/4. About that. Turn it over. I'm going to put one at the bottom as well. 2 1/4 is about there. Okay. I'll try and keep an eye on the lighting. If it goes a bit bright, I'm sorry. There's not good about it. Basically. So I'm putting 1 hole there. If you don't have something that will go through chipboard, then you can just attach your ribbon underneath with some glue, and then you could layer the bottom of there with something so you can't see it, or you can just wrap it around, or you can use a different kind of closure. It's up to you. There's lots of possibilities. You don't have to do it exactly like I'm doing it. Okay. Alright. And then I have got, this is my little box of tricks. So this has got all of the components in that I need for this video, so that I'm prepared. As prepared as I can be. Move that to one side. And then I'm going to put these little eyelets in. Okay, much easier to do it before you construct the box, unlike when I did my sample and I had to try and put them in after I'd glued the box together, and it was a little bit difficult. But you know, I like to make things difficult, so do this before you do the next part, which is obviously the internal box part. So that's that bit. Alright, so we can just bob that to one side for a moment. Now that could even be the cover of a book or anything. Alright, same principle. So then for the little box, we've got a piece of card. This measures 7 1/4 by 7 1/4. Okay, we're going to score all the way around at 1 inch and then 2 inch. So score all the way around at 1. Let me just move that out a bit. For some reason my score blade always drops out of this trimmer. It's the only downside to it. So I'm scoring all the way around on all 4 sizes. 4 sides, not 4 sizes. 4 sides at 1 inch. Alright. And then we're going to do it again at 2 inches. So I've gone to my 1 inch there, but when I go to 2, I'm going to use this side, because, you know, just to confuse you. But you can use just a normal scoreboard, score it at 1 inch, then 2 inch on all 4 sides. It's that simple. And then what I'm going to do is, on all 4 sides, I'm just going to go put it back in my trimmer, and I'm just going to take literally a 1/16 of an inch off, just so that when I fold it all over the double wall part, it doesn't catch on itself. So just go back in and just trim off a sliver from all 4, and it doesn't matter if it's not exactly the same sliver, it just needs to be a sliver on all 4 sides. Okay. I don't know how far now. Yeah, I've done 4. I know I've done 4 because I've got 4 slivers. Can't use them. Right. Oops. Oh, I've just nearly ripped got it stuck in my trimmer and ripped it. Never mind, it'll be fine. Right, so I'm just going to fold over all of my score lines. Okay, and it's going to be a double walled box. I've just ripped that bit there, but it doesn't matter. Right, so what we're doing is, let me get some sharp scissors. So we've got 1, 2 little squares at each end, well, a set of 4. Alright, so cut up, 1, 2, cut up to the second score line all the way up. Okay, and then you would only need this tab here, so these 3 little squares can go. Alright, can you see that? So you need these 2 lines and you need this to be a tab. So these 3 here can go. Alright, so remove them. Okay. And as I've removed that, I've just notched it slightly. Alright, so we don't need that. Cut that one off. And then all the tabs in the top row, all the little flaps here, the small flaps, and then what's left over on the top row needs notching. Okay, so again, I'll show you again. So you've got 4 squares, 1, 2, 3, 4. We only need this, we need it to look like that. Okay, so we're going to cut straight down here. Okay, and then we're going to cut across here, and we're going to remove all those 3 there. So there's 2, and then we don't need that. Alright, and then this needs notching, and this needs notching. And you just do that same at the other side. Alright, I'll probably fast forward this bit. Okay, so then what we're going to do, just let me get rid of this. Very easily, you'll have seen this done a million times. So what we're going to do is, you fold the little flaps in, you want adhesive on those, alright? And then that's going to fold up to the first strip and adhere like that. And then the top strip will fold over, and we'll do the same all the way around. So I'll show you one and then I'll fast forward, because I'm using double-sided tape today. Okay. Alright, so you want tape on those, and then you want tape on the top flap, and that's all you need. You don't need loads of adhesive. Okay, I'll just do these while I'm here. Made it double strength, and then all you need to do is attach that to the inside of your box. Okay, and I have centered mine. You can go right up against the spine, but I just thought it was nice if we centered it, so then we can see that lovely paper, and when they open it, it just looks a little bit special. Alright, so let me just get it kind of where I want it. I want it to go over there a bit, and I'm using wet glue, so I've got time to move it about, so I've got it where I want it, and then I can give it a press. Alright, and then you might want to wait for that to dry. Okay, and then you can put whatever you want in. You could put a little pocket there and put a card in, or a sentiment or whatever, and then that folds over nicely like so. Alright, you've just got a small gap there to allow room for things. Alright, and then we're using ribbon closure, so I've just got this real red left over from last year. I haven't bought a lot of Christmas stuff because I don't do an awful lot of Christmas crafting. It's not my forte, so I do love the stuff. Absolutely do. I'm going to be getting some more because I don't normally do a right lot. I'm going to try this year and do a bit more because it's fun, isn't it? Okay, so my inside box there isn't fully dry, so it's not stuck down properly. It's because I'm trying to do it quickly for the video. So then you just tie it shut. Okay. Tie it shut. Like so. And you just make yourself a bow. Okay. Hopefully a bit better than mine. The one on my sample is pretty perfect because I've faffed about with it for ages. And then just trim off the excess ribbon. That way. And you're good to go. Alright, just make that a bit neater. But we'll faff about with that later. I haven't time for that now. And then what I've done on my sample is I have created a lovely poinsettia flower. So I've stamped with Versamark and embossed with gold. I'm not going to do that on video. It's straightforward, and it took me a while because then I did fussy cut all of these leaves out. There is a die set to go with it. I didn't get my hands on it. And then I added 3 glass pearls with hot glue to the middle of that one. Now that's starting off using the largest one, a middle one and a small one layered up. On this sample I'm just going to use smaller ones layered up. So here's quite a few that I've die cut and fussy cut out. I've already pre-cut my a lot of my elements to save time. Okay, because the box tutorial was quite long. So this comes from, I think it's from Dashing Deer, this little flourish, this little corner flourish. So I've used lots of different dyes from my stash, mix and match. That's the whole idea. You know, you don't have to think, oh well, you know, I've got to use just that dye that goes with that stamp set and that dye that goes with that stamp set, and never the twain shall meet. Mix and match them, get them out, have a play, cut yourself a load. I couldn't fussy cut this one, could I? No chance. So, you know, luckily this was one of the dyes that I did purchase. Alright, I'm just dabbing small amounts of glue on there, and I'm using that flourish as like a corner accent for my box. Okay, and this like flocked surface is easy to glue onto. You just have to be patient and wait for it to dry. Alright, so just hold it while it adheres. It will glue on because it's an easy thing to glue to, because you've got the fibres on it. There you go, that's glued on lovely. So I did stamp this sentiment. It says, thank you for making this a wonderful season. So this is from the same stamp set that the flower's from, the poinsettia one, which I've lost. Where is it? There we go, poinsettia petals. Beautiful, beautiful set. I'm so glad I purchased it. So I'm going to raise that on dimensionals. I might do a separate tutorial on variations of flowers with this stamp set, because I've not done you a full tutorial on the flower, but it's really not difficult. If you've got the dies, you die cut them and you layer them up. If you don't have them, you cut them out by hand and you layer them up. It's not difficult. I didn't feel it needed a tutorial, but I might do some variations because it is a very lovely set, and you can stamp on vellum, on cardstock, you can stamp the images and then cut them out. There's loads of different ones. You can use embossing powder, you can use standard ink, loads of stuff you can do. Right, so what I'm going to do with this is kind of centre it, alright, as best I can. So about there. Okay, alright, and then making use of some of my other dies. This is from the Forever Flourishing. Okay, absolutely love that set, and I will use it in combination with lots of other things for as long as I can. The dies, the rectangular dies there, are from the Painted Poppies. I think it's called Painted Labels. So, you know, carry on using them, mix and match them. I mean, that looks lovely on there in the cherry cobbler, and that's meant to be for a leaf, you know, it's from a leaf's die set. Mix and match, it's the name of the game. Right, I want a pearl on there. Right, just bear with me while I faff about with these because my hand-eye coordination's not great this week. There we go. If I use my take your pick tool, it does make it a lot easier for me. I've got very bad hand-eye coordination when it comes to little things, but the take your pick tool, you've got the little spatula at one end and then you've got the pick putty at the other, so I can lift the pearl up and then I can use my putty to lift it and place it, and then I'm not faffing about. It really is a genius little tool, is that. I love it. Right, so let's create our flower. So like I say, emboss with gold onto, and then what I'd done was, you can shape flowers by curling them under like that, but this time I lifted them up and I've nipped my finger there like that in the petal and nipped it together, because poinsettias are kind of like that kind of shape rather than rounded over, aren't they? So there you go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer in between each one with, well, in between some of them with dimensional to help make it pop up, make it more 3D. Okay, so, and you just keep layering them in between where you've got a gap there, layer that. Okay, and then we'll do one more there, and then I think that'll be enough. I mean, you can put as many layers as you want on. That's a nice layered flower. Okay, slightly smaller than my original sample, but there you go. And then for the centre, on my larger one, I used some pearls out of my jewellery making stash. Okay, on this one, I'm going to use up just one of these glitter gems, I think. Let's have a look, what have I got? I think I'll use one of these kind of yellowy, creamy colours. I think that'll look nice. Okay. Because I like to use up what I've got in my stash before I go, especially with things like embellishments. I'll find something that fits. Because I like to spend all of my money on stamp and paper and ink. And then dyes. Right, so that's that one made. Alright, so let's get that glued onto that. Like I say, it's slightly smaller and more subtle than my original great big monster of a flower. Alright, that's that one. And then I'm just going to, I've cut another one of these flourishes in gold foil. I'm going to cut it in half and I'm going to put if I can get my glue to work, one under there, just peeking out so it's like leaves, and get off, and one under there at the other end, and then just leave that to dry and it will all just adhere beautifully if you just have patience. And there we go. I hope you like that. I hope the sun didn't keep coming in and out. I hope you'll give it a try. That is Poinsettia Petals. A beautiful, beautiful set, and what a lovely box to give this season. Or any other time. Change it up, use the sizes, decorate it with something else. Thanks for watching. Bye.